Welcome everyone, it's Ben from the Jason for my part 3 of my Fast and Furious week. Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, and what can I say about this movie? I didn't like it. It's awful. Um, Lucas Black plays Sean Boswell. His acting is just atrociously awful. It is, oh, the way they get Lucas Black from Colorado or wherever it was, or not quite sure where it was, to Japan is just silly. It's just stupid. His dad lives in Japan, and the Lucas Black's acting is atrocious. It's just, oh, and the southern accent. I'm a good driver, but please stop talking. Oh, there's no acting at all. It's terrible, terrible movie. If you couldn't get anyone back from the original, why bother? I think this is one of the worst box offices in the entire series. The only bright spark is Han, and we all know this is a prequel because this is set in 2013, but it was made in 2006. And we know this because Vin Diesel turns up at the end and Dom actually, and it says like, Han used to work for me, and he didn't even know he likes muscle cars because Sean and Vin Diesel race at the end. Um, and the villain in this movie is just again a little oik like the first movie. He's trying to play a Japanese gangster mob type person who's just a little man trying to. I'm not being funny, but again, actually, these are all school kids. Um, they're all little school kids because they're supposed to be 18, and yet this bloke Sean looks about 30. Lucas Black looks about 30 in this movie. Who cast him? He looks about 30. And everyone in this movie is a school kid. There's a girl in it that he likes who's going out with this um mob boss, and he's just a kid. They're like 18, 19-year-old kids in school, and they've all got cars and like racing. It's just really odd. And then Sean doesn't know how to drift, and he borrows Han's car because he hasn't got one, and he takes to the fact that this bloke doesn't treat this girl properly. He meets in school, and it's just, oh god, just a movie you've seen 100,000 times with a racing background. It is just awful. And then he ends up smashing Han's car, and he says, right, you work for me now until you pay back the car, and he teaches him to drift. And another thing, there's so many montages in this movie. Basically, Sean beats one of the villain's underlings, and I keep saying villain because I can't remember the bloke's name because it's not really worth it. So he beats the villain's underling, but you don't even see it because he's in a bloody montage. He's learning to drift 1 minute, and then the next minute he beats this little shit he's been trying to beat for the whole movie. There's about 4 montages in this movie, and this movie is the shortest of the lot. I think it's only 140 minutes, so it's quite short. It's not that good, this movie. The acting is terrible. You need a surround sound headset because the problem with the dialogue is back where you can't hear what's going on. It's just awful. And some of the lighting again, it's awful. The casting is just atrocious. The only bright spark is Han, but this is supposed to be set in 2013, and the technology isn't there because they didn't think that far forward, and why would they? And this is a prequel because this is set after 4, 5, and 6. It's set between 6 and 7, so that's weird. And then they didn't even use the villain to kill off Han. It was just some sort of random bystander who smashes into the side of him whilst they're trying to get away because he realizes that Han is doing some side deals and stealing money. So the villain doesn't even kill Han. And then of course they had to try and wheedle in Jason Statham, and he did it somehow, but I don't know how they wheeled it in, considering Sean is actually looking at the accident while it happens. Very strange how they changed I think they actually changed the scene in 6. I haven't got that far yet, of course, but from my memory, I think they changed the scene. It's really strange. Yeah, so they didn't even use the villain to kill him off, and then Sean is annoyed that his mentor has been killed, and he's pissed, but he can't really be pissed because the villain didn't kill him. I hate this movie with a vengeance. I can't be asked to find out what the villain's name's called. I think it was like TJ or something like that, or I can't remember. I can't remember what his name was, or because it's not worth it. None of these people are memorable. It is absolutely god awful, this movie. The fact that Vin Diesel turns up at the end and says, "Han used to work for me," and blah blah blah. Yeah, I mean, why would you set it as a prequel? It's really weird. You killed off Han. All you've done is make it so convoluted. Now you have to go. Doesn't fit because it's set in 2013, and there's 4, 5, and 6 before you get to Tokyo Drift, and then Hans is in Fast and Furious 9. How the fuck does that work? Because in the original, he's just killed, and then they weasel it in that it's Jason Statham that did it, and then that doesn't really fit well either. And then he somehow survives. How the hell does that work? Jason Statham's supposed to be this big killer, brilliant killer, yet somehow Han survives. I haven't seen Fast and Furious 9 yet. I haven't seen all of 4 yet, 5 and 6. So I'm just spouting off. Just this is where it started to go downhill with the story. The story's got better, but they tried to link them all together, and it just didn't work because there was no plan at the beginning. Because nobody knew how big this series was going to get. Nobody did forward planning because back in 2001 you really didn't have these things called universes. So it's just one film after another, and they kind of tried to make this universe thing. And with this one particular, it just kind of starts to go really weird. Trying to fit it all in. This is supposed to be set in 2013 because it's set after 6, and yet the technology isn't there, and they've got these Motorola flip-up phones that aren't even in 2006. And it's just terrible. The sound problems are back where you can't hear the dialogue properly. You definitely can't watch any of these movies without a headset, because I actually tried to watch it on the telly because I couldn't use the surround sound headset anymore because it was giving me earache and headache. But I had to use the surround sound headset because my family members couldn't watch the telly because I couldn't hear the dialogue over the bloody music. Oh, I really, really don't like this movie. But this is where it started to get better from 4 onwards to actually worse because they tried to fit everything in the story. This is the beginning of the golden years, but also the beginning of trying to mix the storylines together, and it's just weird. This is the worst movie of the series so far, and probably the worst of the lot. Until we get to 9. So I don't know, but I just don't like this movie whatsoever. I mean, there's nothing about it I like apart from Han. That's because I already know him because I've seen the other movies, and that he's in. Oh dear. Right, I've had enough talking about this movie now, so I'm going to end the video there, I think. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!